Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video what we are going to see is components of a ecosystem. So the ecosystem consists of two types of components. Okay, first one is abiotic components, which is nothing but a non-living component, and second one is biotic component, which is a living one. So these abiotic components was further divided into based on the climatic and the edaphic. So the climatic parts consist of rain. Okay, wherever the abiotic components depends upon the rain. Sorry, these abiotic components depends upon the rain first type. Then light, how much the light comes from a sun. Then wind, wind then temperature. So these are all the climatic abiotic components of an ecosystem. The ecosystem depends upon these climatic components. Okay, take for example, certain plants was growing in some place. Okay, so the amount of its growing, the amount of its production depends upon the rain. Obviously, how much the water it gets, then how much light it gets, then wind. If there is a no wind, then there will be a no reproduction, no dispersal of a seeds from one place to another place. So wind is the most important for a reproduction of a plants. Then temperature. Okay, certain plants withstand a heavy temperature. Certain plants does not withstand a frequent temperature changes. Okay. Next one is edaphic component. So on this edaphic component, first one is the soil. What is the type of a soil? Certain plants growing in some type of a soil, some type of a soil grows in another type of a soil. So the soil conditions, then pH range in a soil, then what are all the minerals that was present in such a soil, then topography of a area, whether it is a mountain or then it was a landscape, sorry, flat land, or it is a desert. So it was a topography. Next one, these are all the abiotic component of a ecosystem. Next one is a biotic component of an ecosystem. So the biotic component of an ecosystem consists of three parts. First one is producers. Producers are also known as autotrophs. So producer is nothing but a plant which produces the, not only a plant, it was an organism which produces the food from a photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the production of a food using a sunlight. Next one is consumers or heterotrophs. The consumers or heterotrophs is nothing but who eats these autotrophs. So these are all the producers, and these consumers eat these producers to produce a food. So these consumers not only eats this producer but also eats other consumers of a certain organism and decomposes. So it eats both the producers and decomposes and the other consumer itself. Okay. Next one that we are going to see is the decomposer. Decomposer is also known as a saprophytes. So get food by decomposing dead plants and animals. So these decomposers produces its food by decomposing a dead organism, dead plants and the dead animals. Okay. So these are all the three major classification of a biotic component. Okay. So these consumer component was further divided into four major types. First one is a primary consumer. So these primary consumer feed directly on a plants. It eats directly on a plants. Okay. Secondary consumers. These secondary consumer feed on a primary consumer. So it feed on a primary consumers. Okay. Tertiary if you give an example for this, this is a, take for example, rats. So rats eats a beets and grain and rice. So rats eats a primary consumer. So second tertiary consumer feed on a secondary consumer. So these tertiary consumer feed on a secondary consumer. Take for example, snake. Snake eats a rat. Okay. Then omnivores. So these omnivores feed on both the plants and the animals. It eats both the plants and animals. Okay. So these are the four major classification of consumers Okay, so this is the component of an ecosystem. This part is this topic is the most important for a understanding of a detailed topics in an environment subject. Okay, thank you.